Hello there, buddy. I'm Mr. GamePie, and welcome back to Sonic Advance 3. Today, we're going to be taking on the water world of the game, Ocean Base. That said, it doesn't actually have a whole lot of water. Anyway, last time, we unlocked Knuckles and showed off some cool stuff that he can do. Today, we're going to be doing more of that, honestly. Ocean Base has some really rocking music right here. Go. Just climb up this way, because you can. Knuckles can explore basically anywhere. I find that this world is probably one of my favorite ones in the game. It's pretty solid. I mean, you know, it's a water level, so you'd kind of expect that to be, oh man, it's the water level. No. But it's honestly not. It's actually a pretty good level. Probably because it doesn't focus that much on water. I mean, you know, you might think, wow, it's the water level and it doesn't focus much on water. What's the point of it being a water level anyway? Well, the thing is that it's ocean base, and it's definitely more base than ocean, if that makes sense. Basically, while water is certainly a thematic in the level, there's some solid other thematics that we will see mostly throughout the game. Like, there's a lot of these switches, and that's definitely something important to the game. And we got lots of grind rails, which are pretty consistent throughout the game as a whole. You've got tubes. The tubes are pretty good. They're kind of a staple of the handheld Sonic games. Like, a handheld Sonic game without big tube sections is just, it doesn't exist. You've got to have your big tubes in a handheld Sonic game. And also, there's these platforms that I'm riding on right now. Like, so far, this is the first instance that we've seen of them, but I assure you, they'll be returning with force. This is also the first area in the game where exploration for the Chao starts becoming a really big deal. Like, I mean, clearly, I did not get every Chao in the previous two worlds. But this is the world that really starts making it rather difficult. Like, they start hiding them in places. Like, I didn't get a single Chao in that level. And so, these are levels where you really need to explore. You just look around, say, hey, I haven't taken this path before, I'll check that one out. And as I've explained before, that's one of my favorite features about this game, is the exploration of the worlds. And the ability to say, I haven't used this combination in this level, let's see where I can go that I haven't gone before. Alright, so now we're finally getting a little bit of water in this level. Though this is actually not exactly the way that you want to go. The thing is that I know where two Chao are in this level, and one of them is down this way. It's been right here. Meanwhile, another Chao is on a completely different pathway, which we'll be now going to. In fact, it is in the exact opposite direction. It's all the way up here. I never did really understand these waterfalls. Like, the same thing happens in Sandopolis Zone of Sonic and Knuckles. You've got the little sand falls you can jump up. And it's like, I don't get it. How the heck does this work? Like, at least in Sandopolis, it was kind of a solid that you were jumping through, so I guess I could understand you've got something to grab onto, but this is the waterfall. This is not even remotely how waterfalls work. What the heck? Also, I'd like to bring up something, the music of this game. The music of this series, and this game in particular, is really just, it's great. I love it. Granted, it's not always the best quality music, but, I mean, at least it's not, say, the Sonic RPG. That game, that music quality had issues, dude. But no, really, there's some great remixes of this stuff all over YouTube. And of course, the initial music itself, it's solid. Also, this is an ability that Knuckles has, is he can tread water. Yeah, just double jumping to make things go faster. It's slightly faster than just climbing the wall, I believe. Okay, that was good. Oh yeah, those guys. The blue guys that have little spinny dealies on them, they are from Sonic Adventure. This is the first time in a 2D game, I'm pretty sure. Oh my gosh. There we go. If there is one problem with Knuckles and Tails, it's the fact that it's not exactly the fastest combination. But whenever you have such incredible exploration power, who needs speed? Alright, so one thing that I want to talk about is that this game has multiplayer. Now honestly, I think that the Game Boy Advance had some of the best multiplayer games that you could really experience, especially whenever it comes to platforming. And this game is one example of that. Okay, that's nice. Also, they've got arrows here to show you where to go. But yeah, Sonic Advance 3 is probably one of the best examples of multiplayer that I can find, other than, like, Kirby the Amazing Mirror, which is also a Game Boy Advance game. Basically, one player plays as one teammate, and then the other player plays as the other teammate. This works especially well if you and your friend like to play as the same team, but the opposite members of the same team. For example, my friend and I both like the Knuckles and Tails combination, but I liked the Knuckles part of this combination and think that the Tails portion kind of sucks. He enjoyed the Tails portion of the combination. Meaning that this group was often a duo that we would play as. A similar situation would happen with Tails and Cream later in the game, where I find that Tails teamed up with Cream is one of my favorite combinations, but then having Cream teamed up with Tails is just like, I don't find her very good at all. But my friend really liked Cream teamed up with Tails, so that was another combination that we would often play as. However, one multiplayer feature that this didn't work so much in was the competitive part of the game. Thing is that while you can play cooperatively through the levels, you can also race through certain levels with your teams. But you can only have one version of a character in the game at a time. So if I wanted to play as Knuckles and Tails, and he wanted to play as Tails and Amy, which is also a very good combination, we couldn't do that because there could only be one Tails at a time. And it led to problematic incidents. So whenever it comes to the competitive multiplayer of the game, not so good, but the cooperative multiplayer, incredible, because the thing is that one issue with multiplayer in platformers is that usually both characters have to be on screen at the same time. But this was something that the Game Boy Advance transcended, because you have your Game Boy Advance and your screen, and your friend has their Game Boy Advance and their screen. And it really worked out in that way, because you didn't need to be following around your partner the whole time. You could take completely different pathways through the levels, which in turn made it a lot easier to get Chao, because you could take entirely different pathways through levels. If you were going on a pathway that didn't happen to have any Chao on it, your friend might be going on the pathway with the Chao on it. You just don't know. And so I feel like the game really shines in that respect. It's not to the extent of Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, where I feel like if you're not playing multiplayer, you're not really playing the game to its fullest extent, but it really does help the game out a lot. Unfortunately, I can't really show that off because playing multiplayer Game Boy Advance games is not something that I'm really capable of, but it's something that I want to figure out how to do by the time that I want to play Kirby the Amazing Mirror, because, like I said, while I don't think it's critical for you to play multiplayer in this game, I do find it to be pretty critical for Amazing Mirror. So I hope that by the time that I get to doing that Let's Play, that I'll figure something out with that. But yeah, man, I have a ton of memories just we would play this game all the time, and once we get to some particularly interesting levels, I'll definitely have some multiplayer-specific stories to share about that. But, you know, I feel like Ocean Base, while it does have a cool aesthetic, gameplay-wise, it's pretty generic because almost anything that you see in this world will come back in a much more interesting manner in another world. Just about the only thing that's unique about this world is the blue pipe things that absorb you and then launch you out. And that's not exactly very unique. Oh yeah, there's a Chao over here. I'll just grab this one. Man, I love the ability to tread water. Anyway, it's all the way down here. Yes. Also, this world is notable in that it does not have... Oh, okay. I forgot. Underwater, Knuckles does not get his double jump. But, yeah, this world, it doesn't have a hub world Chao. I believe this is the only world like that. And there was a checkpoint right at the end of the level, so that's nice. The times for what rank you get are not exactly consistent, but in general, if you get under 3 minutes, you will get the silver rank, at least. Alright, so this is where this is. We'll come back to these later. That said, one of the last levels is so long that under 3 minutes is actually the time needed for a gold rank. I'm not kidding, it's that long. Whenever I was practicing that level, I was like, oh hey, I got like a little bit over 3 minutes, I must have gotten the bronze ring. Is like, nope, that's gold. Alright, so this boss battle. This boss battle is kind of annoying. Robotnik is protected by his legs there, and he'll move about at the top of the screen. And after a while, he'll come down, and you gotta hit him now. Honestly, this boss battle would actually be pretty easy if you had Cream unlocked, but you don't. Alright, so now he gets into his intense mode. The music shifts, as you can tell. And this is where things get a little bit more difficult, because pretty soon he'll probably invert his feet so that whenever he falls down... Oh, he never did it. Well, he can invert his feet so whenever he falls down, you can't stand under him. And whenever he does that, landing will actually cause shockwaves to the side of him. So not only does he take away your chance to hit him, he also actually does an attack on you. That's pretty annoying. That said, I did this boss battle about as fast as I could because I basically just got lucky. And so that should net me the gold rank on this one. Chances are there will be times where you'll want to go back to certain bosses to fight them more effectively with teams that won't be available to you first time around. But anyway, until next time, I've been Mr. GamePie, and later on, we'll be going on to Toy Kingdom. See you then!